Hey everybody, it's Marco Nunez and Landon Buford with the waiver wire selection for Week 4 fantasy football. We're going to review all the current injuries, some of the pickups that you might want to grab, and we're going to give you the pick of the week out there for this Tuesday. So hopefully, if this player is available, make sure you grab him right away. So Landon, let's go ahead and get started. We'll go down the list. We're going to go through the review of some of the current injuries, give you an updates on past injuries from Week 1, 2, and 3. See how they're doing. See what updates are there. Whether you should keep them in your roster, whether you should go ahead and grab them. If for some reason whoever had them dropped them, I know that happened to me with somebody. Somebody had Jarvis Landry. They dropped him because he's an IR. I picked him up. I stashed him out there. He'll be a great receiver when he comes back. So I'm saving him. So right off the bat, we're going to get started with the first receiver. We're going to talk about Will Fuller. Now, Will Fuller was in suspension for I believe Week 1. He didn't play Week 2. He played Week 3, and then he just got hurt Week 4. And I think my understanding, he has a hand injury. Now, the last thing I read, Landon, is that they have not concluded or they haven't done any specific x-rays to conclude whether if it is a fracture to the hand, the wrist, or wrist bone. So that's going to be a huge determining factor whether he's going to be playing pretty soon or not. So bottom line, if it's a fracture to what we call the metacarpals, basically the bones right in the hand, most likely what's going to happen, he's going to go ahead and get like a plate in there, like pins and needles. Again, if you're like a Lakers fan, kind of same thing. What happened to who's the point guard, Rajon Rondo? Yeah, he should be able to come back as early as 4 weeks. So pad it up and be ready to go. Now in football, sometimes they come back a little bit earlier, type of thing, because you're able to pad it up really good. If it's more in the wrist injury and there's some kind of ligament or anything like that, that may take a little bit longer time. So bottom line, you expect them to be out at least for 4 weeks if the extras are positive, meaning if something's wrong there, he's going to probably be out for 4 weeks. And if you have Devontae Parker, he's going to probably be your guy for those long passes because Will Fuller is going to be out. Waddle is going to be the other guy that he's more of a slot, short passes. But if you got Parker, he's going to be getting the long passes. Or the other one, I would probably highly recommend. You know what? I think you and I had talked about our picks of the week. I think I'm going to change my pick of the week a little bit. I know we had talked about somebody else, but I'm going to go with one of the Miami Dolphins tight ends / receivers, Gesicki. They've been using him in the slot. I think last time I read is that he's only played in the tight end position only 3 plays this past weekend. So they're using him as a receiver, even though he's as a tight end. And now with Will Fuller out, if Gesicki's out there, go ahead and grab him for the day. So that's my pick of the week. I know I'm going a little bit getting ahead of myself, but I got excited there, so I had to throw him out there. I know I should have waited till the end. Any thoughts on Fuller or any of the well, let me ask you this. Would you, besides Gesicki, maybe Waddle, would you play any Miami receivers? I know there was I was listening to a video about whether even any Miami Dolphins players should be in your lineup.
I mean, if not for who you just said and Parker, I don't see anybody else from their rotation right now that I would go after. Yeah. But I guarantee you Parker's probably already been picked up. Mm-hmm. If not, specifically for Dolphins, I would go after any of those Arizona Cardinals receivers that are still available, like, Rondale Moore, mm-hmm. Or who's the other wide receiver from them?
AJ Green might even be available. I know AJ Green was available in a couple of the leagues that I'm in, which I was surprised.
AJ Green, I don't know. I don't see how he's not available, but I guess with the so many options. Mm-hmm. People weren't sold on Arizona because I know when we were talking about this early on in the season, we could see how many Arizona wide receivers are still on the market. It's the other wide receiver.
Christian Kirk?
Yes, Christian Kirk is who I'm still available. I would go after him, and I would go after who did I just say? Moore.
Yep.
For Arizona. Arizona's 4-0 right now. So, obviously their passing game is cooking right now.
Correct. I agree with you. And like I said, if you are in need of receiver because you had Will Fuller and he's out, obviously see if Devontae Parker is available. I'd be very surprised. If not, definitely go grab one of the Arizona Cardinal receivers like Landon mentioned. Next one up, we're going to go with the tight end. We're going to talk about Logan Thomas, the tight end for the Washington football team. I was about to say the Redskins, but Washington football team. He sustained a hamstring strain. Now, they haven't identified what kind of hamstring strain as far as the degree, whether first, second, or third degree. Obviously, the first degree is a very mild one. The third one's kind of more severe. when you sustain a first-degree hamstring strain or muscle strain, you're looking anywhere between maybe 7 to 14 days average, but it can be extended up to 21 days. A third degree is more, you're looking more at about maybe 4 to 6 up to 8 weeks, very similar to kind of what McCaffrey has right now. Now, if you're in need of a tight end, one tight end that kind of popped out to me this just today, besides Gesicki, again, that he was kind of like my pick of the week, was also, I noticed the Buffalo Bills tight end Knox. He actually received, I think, 2 touchdowns this past weekend. So out there, finally, who's their quarterback? I'm having a little of a.
Who's their quarterback? Not oh shoot.
I think of the quarterback right now.
He's a top 5 quarterback, and we should know who he is.
I know.
Hold on.
But bottom line, he's finally picking it up. I know week 1 and week 2 he kind of struggled a little bit. Week 3 he came on and went crazy. This past weekend,
Josh Allen.
There you go. This past weekend he went off as well. I think he threw about 4 touchdowns, pass touchdowns, 1 to Emmanuel Sanders, 2 to Knox, type of thing. So make sure you pick him up. Either obviously my number 1 tight end pick right now would be Gesicki if he's available with the Miami Dolphins. If not, definitely go grab Knox. If you had Logan Thomas and you're in need of a tight end. The other one that's kind of like hit or miss is with the Dallas Cowboys. Schultz seems to be a pretty good, reliable. He may not give you the big numbers like, Kittle or Kelsey, but he seems to be pretty good, consistently give you some numbers out there. He's gotten a couple of passes. I think past weekend he actually got a touchdown. Who do you have?
I'm gonna stay with the Cowboys. Blake Jarwin, if he's available.
I agree. Yep.
Blake Jarwin, and then also Anthony Frisker for the Titans.
I agree. I was reading about him. I agree with you on that part too. And even kind of not going continuing to the segue with as far as the tight ends, and I guess another reason to grab maybe perhaps a Dallas Cowboys tight end is we're going to talk about Amari Cooper. Now he did sustain a little bit of an injury going along with the hamstring strain. I think my understanding he sustained a hamstring strain in the first quarter. He was able to come back and kind of continue playing some of the game, but that doesn't mean that he'll be ready for week 5. They still have to keep an eye on him. He could have aggravated it. It could be very sore. It could be tight. They may also be a little be cautious with them and maybe just kind of allow him sit him out, because the Cowboys, I believe, did win. So they're about 3-1. So they're not terrible right now. They're sitting pretty. So they may have some time to kind of give him a week to kind of rest. You got CeeDee Lamb. You got the 2 tight ends. Zeke is still playing well right now, so you have some backups up there, type of thing. So keep an eye on the tight ends, especially keep an eye on Cooper when you kind of go in and grab him. Next one we're going to talk about, if we kind of continue on, we're going to switch over to running backs. We're going to talk about David Montgomery with Chicago Bears. Now, I read a couple of reports with him, and I think from my understanding is that they categorize it as a hyperextended knee. That's just basically the mechanism of injury, but they're not quite sure as far as what's going on. My understanding is that he's scheduled for MRI today, Monday. Based as we record this podcast, there hasn't been anything out there as far as what the results of that MRI are. Now, one report I read out there that was speculating that he may have an MCL sprain. I'd be surprised if the MCL sprain, if we are talking about a hyperextended knee, but hopefully if it is, it's just be an MCL sprain. And hopefully it's just first degree, or he may end up with a little bit of a bone bruise. Obviously, we're praying that he does not have a major ACL injury, and we kind of go from there.
So we need backup running backs, right, for fantasy individuals this week, right?
Correct. So, yep. Who you got?
I got, call me crazy, but I'm going to go with Michael Carter from the Jets.
I'm not going to call you crazy. I'm going to actually agree with you. He actually did pretty well this past weekend with the Jets. And now that the Jets were actually clicking, I saw two of the receivers kind of went off a little.
Their first win this weekend too.
James Crowder came back. He went off, and Corey Davis went off too. So the one good thing about it, and that's the thing that I love about when you have the receivers and the running backs, they complement each other. When your receivers are doing well, it frees up your running back to also be able to perform. So the Michael Carter helps out, and then the other way around. When you have a running back that's doing well, it frees up your receiver because you have all the safeties, all the linebackers have to kind of come in to stop the run, and then your receivers are open, and then vice versa. You have the secondary have to back up to protect the receivers, so it allows your running backs to come on up. Now, the one thing that I was also surprised, if you want to stick with the Chicago Bears, Damian Williams, their backup running back, when David Montgomery went out, he came in and he actually did pretty well. He got pretty good numbers. I think, if I'm not mistaken, he got about 78 yards running from that part. So he actually came in and did a great job for him. So So I'm pretty sure he's available as far as numbers. I'd be very surprised if he's already been picked up, unless you were smart enough. If you had David Montgomery and you got your insurance and you picked him up as far as his backup